Hey guys, it's Jordan with the BetLockr. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over the recap of how we did in the BMW Championship. So how our favorite did, our long shot, gut pick, the DFS cheat sheet, all that fun stuff. So stay tuned for that. Next week, college football finally begins. Oh my gosh, so excited for that. Week 1 of college football, and then the week after that, it's the week 1 of NFL. So we finally made it. Football's back, baby. So yeah, make sure to come back for all that content, and then let's dive into this. All right, so let's get into it. Yeah, this would have been posted earlier, but I was having technical difficulties. It's Monday. What can you do? So yeah, this is what you get when you become a member on the BetLockr. So get access to all the locker picks. See how all this unlocks. Pun intended. So when you do become a member, all the front page when you first visit the site, all this is locked up and whatnot, but this is what it transfers over to. So you get locker picks, DFS cheat sheets, gut picks. So let's go over our free pick first. So let's see how we did there. Yeah, NFL coming soon. Just got to scroll down over here. And there we are. Ludwig, whatever. We did pretty good. I mean, he finished, what did he finish? Let's go check it out. He finished at tied for 7th. I mean, he was sitting standalone third on Friday, and then he had an okay round Saturday, and then he kind of tanked Sunday, but so we hit it pretty close there. The reason why we chose him and he was popping in our, simulations and all of our studying all week was he wasn't only bomber off the tee, but he was also accurate. So total driving. And then that became real apparent that you needed that first thing Thursday was those guys got in the rough and those bouncy new greens, just like we talked about. If you weren't in the fairway, it was pretty bad. So let's talk about Scotty for a second. I got a saying around here, okay? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me again. That's on me. Fool me 3 times, it's got to be on me again, but just stop it, okay, Scotty? Like, you're just a monster. You're an animal. It's just not fair. But if you can't beat him, you join him. I ask my friends, ask everyone, who works with me on the site. I don't know. I just love to dodge the dominant guy. I did it with Tiger back in the day, and sometimes you just got to join him. If you can't beat him, you join him. Ironically, in the big DraftKings lineup, so the contest, the showdown contest, I think it's called Summer Sand Trap. Yeah, it's called Summer Sand Trap. The big $25 contest on DraftKings. First place didn't have Scotty in the lineup. So their winning lineup was Fleetwood, Batia, McIntyre, Fowler, Hall, and McNeely. A more balanced lineup, and that's what I've been trying to preach to people. And it just feels like every time Scotty wins, I don't know, he's sometimes in the lineup, he's sometimes not. But we'll get into that once we go over the cheat sheet. But there's our free pick. Like I said, total driving was key. And Ludwig, he did it. I mean, he was playing out of the fairway a lot. And another thing, which I'll show you in the other picks, was we were we were focusing on guys that were hitting their long irons good. So 175 and in, and that was spot on. Our analysis on that was completely spot on. Everyone's approach shots was right between 155 to 185. A lot of 175 to 174, so many every time you saw him approach the green. So we did pretty good with him. So that was great. Let's go over to our locker picks. So there you have it. Favorite to win, same exact thing, was Tommy. Look, we don't trust Tommy on Sundays, and it sucks. I feel bad for him. I want him to win so bad. But, it is what it is. He was coming off a good week, and that's been a historical thing this whole year. A guy wins or a guy does really good the last week, people the next week don't like taking him or don't trust him, and then they get close again. They play great. They're just on fire. And so he was popping in the standings too with total driving, accuracy off the tee, but also could hit it a little bit further. He's not that far off the tee. as far as distance goes, but accuracy is obviously really good, and that was pretty apparent all week. Was he was hitting fairways? So same thing though. He was doing really good with his 150 to 175 shots. So that's why we chose him. Kind of great course fit. He played well back here in 2021. I think he finished in top 10. I can't remember the standings right now, but we noticed that even though they made all the changes, at least he was familiar with the place. So lock of the week, Tommy 20-1. Obviously, I didn't win because Scotty always wins. But if we go to his standings, he tied for fourth. So if you took him in the top 5 market, which we do, if you take him in the top 10 market, you cash both of those. We were trying, something a little different. We were trying to get something with maybe Scotty doesn't win without Ted Scott there, but obviously he's a monster. So, yeah, so that was actually pretty good. Tied for fourth. And then long shot of the week, complete whiff. That happens. I mean, we try and pick guys 30 to 40-1 or more. Just, guys that have a real good upside. And he was popping in everything. Bomber off the tee, was accurate with his long irons, was a 3-putt avoidance. I mean, Kurt was just on fire with everything, especially in the last 24 rounds. And obviously he got his first win too. So we chose him, and he was a complete dud. I mean, he started out real bad. He started Thursday's round with what did he shoot Thursday? He shot 2 over 72, and then he just couldn't climb out of it after that. So it is what it is. But we try and, like I said, we try and take those long shots that have longer odds and whatnot. So let's go over to our gut pick before we get into the DFS cheat sheet. And another thing too with all of this, golfing is seriously the hardest sport to handicap. I mean, that's why we always try and choose these. If you're really trying to make real profit long term, you're going to want to take top 5s, top 10 finishes, top 20, top 30s, all of those markets, the without Scotty market, the without Rory market, everything like that. So obviously you could take Rory or Scotty every week, but I mean, that's no fun. You want to make bigger odds, especially if your bankroll is a lot smaller. You want to put $10 to try and win 300. That's way more fun, obviously. Try and make your money on better sports, NFL, college football, So here's our gut pick, Rory. Hey, he didn't finish that bad. He got to, what did he get to? He got to tied for 12th, and he was, what was he, +3 instantly on Thursday, and then he got back to even, and then yesterday on Sunday, what was he? He had birdie, double bogey, bogey, and then he brought it back and he birdied 4 holes coming in. So he finished tied for 12th, and when I was going through all the motions and doing all of our simulations, running our ownerships for DFS, but running everything, total driving, driving distance, accuracy with long irons, putting, like he was literally second or third every time we ran everything. So like, obviously I was like, God, I don't like taking guys. And I say it right here, I really don't like taking guys that are taking time off. And of course he took advantage of their new system, and he took the week before off. So I don't like taking guys that are in tournament form to win that next week. It rarely happens. They might play good. They might finish top 5, top 10, but they usually don't win. I don't know. It's just something about, having that gap in playing and especially being in tournament golf, and especially being in these stages. I mean, this is the playoffs. This is where they need to play their best. So, but like I said, when I was going through all the motions and all the things, and I was just like, God, do I really write off Rory? I can't write off Rory. And I just felt it, like the gut. And sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. Golf is hard to pay off for gut picks, or any picks for that matter. But yeah, I just went with Rory, and he finished tied for 12th. So it wasn't that bad. If you took him in the top 20 market, you cashed. So that's great. Now let's go over lastly our cheat sheet. We did pretty good, actually. If you had our cheat sheet, you just needed to mix and match the guys very well. So let's run down the list. Scotty, obviously, winner. Ludwig, tied for, what did he get? Tied for 7th. Let me go over to DraftKings here, and let's see. So Scotty had the most points, 120 fantasy, obviously. Look who we had. Low owned pivot, Robert McIntyre. He was popping with his long irons the most. He's great on approach. And then he even took me by surprise. I knew he was good with putting, but he was a putting animal this week. And what's funny is I think it was Friday when I was watching him. There was 3 putts where he made, it was either Thursday or Friday. He made 3 putts over 113 or 130 feet worth in just 3 putts. And most of the time you see a regression throughout the weekend. So short game regression is what they call it. So he just never showed that until Sunday. It was crazy. He was just putting. I think he gained like 16 strokes on the field just on the putting surface. Like, that doesn't happen, but it does. Like, you have to choose that guy that does have that great putting week. I don't know. So we had him as a lone pivot. He was only 9% owned. So that was spot on. You just had to mix and match these guys well. I didn't personally mix and match them well. I only usually do 3 lineups, 3 bigger stake lineups. And Scotty's always hard to fit. You could take Scotty every week, and I think I'm going to take him next week again. I only had him once, and I didn't mix him. Like, if you choose Scotty, you have to bink the 6K guys. Like, you have to get 3 exact perfect 6K guys, and then you get, 1 7K guy, 1 8K guy. And, I was high on Chris Goddard up this week for sure. And he was popping in everything. I thought Bomber's Paradise. Oh my gosh, look at my chops with how he's been playing. He's going to do amazing. And he didn't pan out. He did awful, but he saved some face on Sunday. He's trying to make that Ryder Cup team, and he tried to make the top 50, but he didn't. Top 30, but oh well there. But yeah, Scotty Ludwig was a good lone pivot. He tied for 7th. That was great. Cam Young, what did he do? He got to tied for, or no, he's standalone 11th. He showed some great face. Let's see. He went 74, 4 over, started on Thursday. Then he went 66, 65, 70. Like, he's just playing great too. Got his first win, got some confidence under his belt. Maybe taking him next week. Who knows? But JJ Spawn, God, did he say face too? Let's see where he finished. Tied for 23rd. He didn't do great, but he just did mediocre for the field. Half of the field, really. Chris Goddard, big on him. Didn't do great. Robert McIntyre, should have won. Wish he would have won. Love that dog in him. Kurt Kitayama didn't do great. He finished right around. He finished better than JJ Spawn. Finished even, so that's great. Pendrith, he did all right. Not very good. Oh, no, he did. Tied for 15th. He did okay. So I'll tell you one thing. I felt really good. He only cost 6,400 lone pivot. He was only, we had him. He ended up being, let's see what he actually was owned in DraftKings. Oh no, I got to scroll pretty far. No, I'm too far. Let's see. Hey, what's going on here? I can't find his name. Let's see. Jacob Bridgman was 9% owned. I had him at 7%, so I was only 2% off. With all these guys, I was only 1% to 2% off. I was pretty spot on, and it's pretty easy to get the ownership right when we get into these smaller fields. It's pretty condensed ownership, so you have to guess those guys that are going to be those 9-10% owned guys that can pop off, and that's what makes your lineup different. Or you go even keel, all 8K guys with the 7K and a 9K guy mixed in there. That's how you can get different with these small fields. We're going to have to really do our research for this next week to see how we can get different, but with also the potential of winning. So it's probably just going to be taking Scotty and guessing the next 4 guys right, and then having the one outlier guy that does great for you that finishes second, like a Robert McIntyre did this week. So if you mixed and matched this sheet, you were doing great. Jacob Bridgman did okay. Ludwig, good at lone pivot. Robert McIntyre, the best lone pivot you can get. He ended up only being 9% owned as well. And I had him at 11% and just thought that maybe the higher stakes guy we're going to take him and be on him, but not much. So that's great. Scotty surprised me. I thought Scotty was going to be 40-ish% owned, and he only ended up being 34% owned. So that one actually surprised me. I will not be shocked if he is 40 to 50% owned next week. It's just how it's going to go. So Analysis was spot on. And then I did a little bit of, I was trying to point out to you guys what it's like in here. Like 49th place was only getting 1 point for finishing placement, but 25th was only getting third or 3 points. So it's like there wasn't any difference. So as long as you're taking guys that can birdie and finish within that range, it didn't matter. But you had to get the guys that birdied. So anyways, hope that helps. And like I said, our best sports are coming up. NFL's coming up. This is, sneak peek of what the cheat sheet looks like. We get our top QBs, top running backs, top wide receivers, top tight ends, under 10% owned in the GPP favorites. We're going to give 2 of each position in that. That is key. That is everything. And a little sneak peek of top stacks. So if you're familiar with DFS, or I should say if you're not familiar with DFS, stacking is it's not really a secret anymore, because every simulation site, any site that you go to now, they always preach stacking, and it is true. They do it in MLB, NBA not so much, but you can. But NFL, it's crucial. So what that means is stacking is you do a quarterback, you do a wide receiver with them. Sometimes you do 2 wide receivers, and you do tight ends. So if the quarterback's throwing touchdowns to your wide receiver, you're getting double the points. You're stacking a team. Another key feature, though, that I want you guys to tune in, I'm not going to give it away now, but it does come with top stacks that is not a wide known secret, if you will. But I have the inside info on that. So come back for week 1 of NFL, and I'll explain everything to you guys on what that does entail. So got to keep you guys hungry for more. So that's it. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We did pretty good, and we're going to do better this week. And then our 2 best sports are coming up, college football and NFL. I can't wait. So please, as always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. It does help us out a lot. So, and then visit the BetLockr.com. Okay, we'll see you guys.